Yo, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Pnoid News, man. Listen, so I'll be honest with you. It's weird, like I get sick sometimes. And like I don't get sick. I just get tired. Like other motherfuckers get sick. Like my kids is all sick right now. You know what I mean? Like my friends' kids are sick. And like for me, it just I'm dragging, right? Like I'm dragging ass hard. You know, like I don't want to do shit. I don't want to go fucking exercise. I don't want to go out and hike. I don't want to go for a walk. I'm just kind of feeling away and just in my bag a little bit. You know what I mean? Right? And I don't know, like getting like a little sensitive and shit. I don't know, man. Listen, you just be feeling away. You know what I mean? Like you're not sick. You just don't feel good. Right? It's a weird fucking feeling. You know what I mean? As a whole, right? But I figured, you know what I mean? I had a night off, right? And I kind of just been fucking around doing whatever, right? Just I didn't whatever. I was gonna go fishing, but like you know, it was just kind of like fuck it, you know, whatever. Like it was raining. I hit my man's up. I was like, bruh, listen, my brother, like, let's go fishing, my nigga, right? He was like, nah, I'm gonna be a bitch. Yo, tell me about like them extra calls you got, man. I need a call. Yo, man, listen, I hate when your friends end up getting to the level where they start looking at you like food. You know what I mean? That annoys me. It used to be, you know what I mean? Like, yo, we was like, you know what I mean? Like savages together. You know, we was like barbarians in a tribe. You know, nowadays it's motherfuckers looking at me like I'm fucking lunch. Like I'm gonna feed them motherfuckers. Nah, I ain't interested. I ain't interested in that. I ever had broads recently look at me that way. I had a female, right? And I had to break it down to it. I'm like, oh, listen, what you looking for? You looking like you don't want to work, right? You ain't gonna get on disability. You ain't got no income coming in. So you looking for a dude who's gonna like take care of you. Bully. That's gross. I was like, that's gross right there. I don't want that. Right? I don't. That's not what I want in my life. You know what I mean? That's not what it is I need. Then again, like yo, you also don't want to like end up sitting in a situation where like you're relying on another human being to do some shit that they say they're gonna do because like a lot of times this shit ain't happening either. But either way, all of these things are a result of something, which is why we have my man Shahid Bolson. Like, listen, I love Shahid, bro. I do. Like, yo, listen. His propaganda, like, it just gets to me, bro. Like, it really does. Like, listen, Shahid's propaganda, like, it just be cutting through my bullshit, bro. Like, listen, he get it right. He get it right. You know what I'm saying? He get it right. So listen, we're gonna listen to like a little bit of this video about Americans being homeless. I wrote a nice piece on Substack about this. I think y'all would like it a lot. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Check it out. You know what I mean? Check out Tom Pnoid, Substack.com, or look up the Appalachian Gorilla on Substack. You know what I mean? You fucking find me, right? I'm there, right? Links is, of course, is all in the description. You know how that works, right? Yeah, y'all need to, you know what I mean, like, be over there. Make sure y'all subbed up. Make sure you're checking out and reading my fucking stuff. I know a lot of y'all are. A lot of y'all are supporting me. I don't even know that you're supporting me, right? Because, like, listen, y'all got different names in different places. You know what I mean? So, let's, you know what I mean, let's get to it. Let's listen to some of this video.
Americans are homeless as a people. I mean, in the world, Americans are homeless. They're homeless. You know, America's a bus terminal. It has the culture of a bus terminal. Everybody is from elsewhere. You know, my great-great-grandfather and his two brothers decided to up stakes during the forced starvation by the British in Ireland. It was called the Potato Famine. They left County Galway in Ireland and moved to the United States, never to return to Ireland again. Not them, and not any of their descendants, none of us. You know, and it's the same on the other side of my family. My great-grandfather moved from Germany, never went back home, nor did any of his descendants, none of us. And so from both sides in my family, these men in my lineage decided to leave the lands of their birth, the lands of their heritage, where their people had probably been for centuries, for reasons of survival, reasons of opportunity, or what have you. They uprooted and resettled in this big bus terminal of America. And now we have no.
Hang on. I don't know if we watched this other video. I'll be honest with you. Pretty sure we have. Right? There's a video I broke down before where basically somebody breaks down what capitalism is. Right? And it started in the 1400s. 1450s to be particular, off the coast of Portugal in a place called Madeira. Right? The island called Madeira. Madeira is the Portuguese word for timber. Right, this place had a lot of timber, so they named it Timber. Like, yo, bro, listen, y'all need to get better with your names. But when they found this place, it was uninhabited. There was nobody there. It's covered in forest and wood. And it wasn't owned by the Portuguese government, right? So it wasn't under the jurisdiction of the king. And, these people got there, right? And they needed money, right? To be able to stand here and make this venture lucrative, right? So they went to they're like, listen, who do we go to? Do we go to the king? We go to nobles in Portugal? Or they're going to charge us ridiculous amounts for it? Or do we just go somewhere else where the rates are going to be the best? We go to Dutch, go to the fucking Florence, go to the Venetians. I feel like we can go to them places and get a better deal, right? Because we're not tied to the land, right? And the Portuguese were all out of wood, right? Problem was, they needed labor too, right, to cut the wood. And they were like, what do we do here about this labor situation? Did we go to Portugal and get labor? Because then we had to borrow from a noble and to deal with the customs, and then we had to pay them, all the type of stuff. Pain in the ass. You know what we could do? Yo, we could just go snatch people, right, off of Easter Island. Let's go grab some motherfuckers, bro. Listen, because I feel like that's a better way of doing things. Because then we ain't even got to pay them. We can just own the motherfuckers and say, you go work, dummy, or we'll shoot you, right? And then, they did that, you know what I mean? And then they took the land, they started clearing it off, and they figured out that Madeira was really good at growing, sugar cane, right? So they started doing sugar cane there, right? And, it became, the number one supplier of sugar cane in the entire world with this tiny little island of Madeira, right? And then eventually, all at once, it ended up just collapsing, right? This whole production thing, because what they did was they chopped down all the goddamn wood on fucking Madeira, right? Because it takes 60 fucking pounds. Well, actually, it's 120 pounds of wood to process 1 pound of sugar. So that's a bit of an issue, right? So. So they had to go through and go through this project. They cleared out all the timber and all the easy accessible timber, right? And it was booming, and then bust, right? It fell apart. But the big thing was they invented this thing, right? There's this way of doing business where you're not tied to a king or a land or a people or a culture, right? Your culture is to go make money. That's the whole purpose of you being there, is just to make money. That's all this is. This isn't a native land for you. You're not staying here. You don't care about the land, right? You're not trying to preserve the land. It's not your land, right? It's literally just land for the sake of making money. And that's what happened when they came to America. Right? That's what happened when everybody came to America. They were just here to make money. That's it. Right? And anybody that tried to go in a different direction with it, well, they didn't, stand here and have, a good end, right, in the end of the day. So this is the thing, right, in the end of the day. When you go, hey, listen, we live here. Get out my goddamn fucking food. Goddamn cat trying to eat my fucking grapes, I swear to God. Got some fucking fruit to snack on, it's fucking bitch trying to eat my shit. I apologize to y'all in the ear. Right. If you came here and you were yeah, listen, I want to make this a proper nation with people, culture, all that type of shit. It'd run you the fuck off. Or you'd end up starving to death. Right. Because You know what I mean? Like, yo, everybody else's purpose was here to make money. And this is their first opportunity ever in the history of them to make money without a king, to make money without nobles, to make money without a people, make money without a culture. They could just do what they want. They owned it completely, 100%. That's the whole ownership of things. It's like you're not supposed to own things 100%. You're not. And it sounds crazy. It's supposed to be your families. Not just you, your dad, your mom, your grandma, your grandpa, your sons, your grandsons, your great-grandsons, your great-great-grandsons, great-great-great-grandsons. That's who owns what it is that you're doing right now, because it's not yours. It belongs to y'all, not you in particular. It's how shit's supposed to work. And this is what he's talking about. At the end of the day. Let's keep going though.
No connection, no link, no experience, no memory of the actual lands that our families came from. I mean, I'm sure it seemed like a good idea at the time, but what it amounted to was deciding that they and their progeny would be homeless, rootless, with cultural heritage only something to be imagined. But I mean, none of us today would belong in the countries that our family came from. You know, I'm not Irish, not really. I'm not German. You know, like every other American, I have a hyphenated identity. Irish American, German American, you know, Italian American, Japanese American, whatever the case may be. And American here is just a synonym for displaced, for hollowed out, you know. What follows the hyphen is like a stamp confirming that what precedes the hyphen has been nullified, has been...
Listen, that's not wrong. Like, my blood is Italian. But almost nothing else about me is. Like, I sit around other Italians oftentimes, and I just smile and nod. You know what I mean? When motherfuckers start bringing up food and, like, things, words, shit. Because I wasn't around that. I was taught to make money. That was it. How to be a leader. How to fight. That's what I was taught. Throw hands. How to break people. How to manipulate motherfuckers. That's what my family taught me. They didn't teach me how to be, you know what I'm saying, like an Italian. They taught me how to be a businessman, right? At the end of the day. Taught me how to grind. That was it. Was no, you know, man of God. There was none of this. This is all things I learned when I grew up. Right? The brajul and the fucking, you know, the fucking steak braciole and shit, right? All that shit I learned when I was an adult. From other Italian kids or Italian dudes around me. Excuse me, as I said. Feeling away right now. Right? And this shit that we're talking about, right? In general. Like, none of us are the things that we left. Which is important. For like the rest of this conversation for y'all to think about. Just let it marinate in your head. About the fact that what you were, you're not anymore. By blood, you're this. But everything else is gone.
been emptied out. It means no longer. You know, Irish American equals Irish no longer. You were born and raised in a bus terminal. Americans are homeless. And this really crystallizes for you when you're an American. It really crystallizes for you when you travel around the world. Like say you're in Turkey, for example, and you realize that the Turks that you see walking around in Istanbul, praying in Masjid al-Fatih and so on, you know that they know that their lineage traces all the way back to the first Turks who ever prayed at Masjid al-Fatih. You understand? Their lineage goes back not just 4 generations, 3 or 4 generations, you know, but dozens of generations, if not hundreds of generations. Their people have not only walked those streets for generations, their people laid those streets, those cobblestones. That's their place. That's their home. in every way that you can understand the word. That's their home. Or say the Malays, for example, in Malaysia. You know, someone walking around today in Kuala Lumpur can know that their family tree literally goes all the way back to the migration of the human race out of Africa. It's breathtaking. You understand? They have been in Malaysia as long as there's been trees in Malaysia. If you had a time machine, you could literally go back, 10,000 years, 40,000 years, if you're Malay, and you could find your blood ancestor right in the same land where you're living right now, where you're living today. That's astonishing. You're talking about something like 1,500, 2,000 generations of your same lineage walking on the same land that's under your feet right now. No, America is a bus terminal by comparison. You don't have roots.
That's a really good point to look at, right? At the end of the day, that's a beautiful point to look at. Because when you have this conversation, you have to start having conversations about where are we anthropologically, culturally in this country, on this continent, in this geography. Where are we in space and time and history and the process of human settlement? This is still the same colony that was settled 300 years ago. Really think about it. At the end of the day, like, you can talk about like New Amsterdam, right? But ultimately, it's the same colony. It's the same shit, same people. I mean, because like, we've been uprooted multiple times for economic reasons. All of us. And the great migrations for like industry. Moved everybody to the cities. And then the civil rights era moved everybody to the suburbs. They ran away from the blacks after they were trying to break the unions from the ethnic people who were there. If you're in a suburb, look at it this way, right? You live in a suburb. There's no cobblestone streets. Your streets weren't laid by like the paths of deer and cattle. They weren't made by trade. There's no businesses. There's no nature. It's just a nursery, right? It's a nursery. It's an economic nursery for future economic units. It's a machine. It's part of a machine. There's no beauty to it. No humanity to it. The simulacra of like a village. So when we have these like conversations, when we speak about this shit, right? When we talk about this, and I say I'm an Appalachian, right? And motherfuckers go like, what is that? Right? It's important to understand like the difference in the viewpoint, right, of where we are in our mental. Because I'm a step ahead. Because the future is my way. The future is people of the land. No matter how you want to slice it, it's going to happen. We should be moving towards this. Like, I had people ask me, I had a dude ask me earlier, what do we call ourselves? I go, that's what you got to decide. Not for me to tell you what you're supposed to be. It's for you to know what you're supposed to be. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going.
It's there. You don't have roots, you just have familiarity. And this is the same for almost any people, who are actually living in the land that their family comes from. Like Khalijis, they can trace their family trees back to the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and even further back. You know, Russians, Chinese, anyone whose nationality is not hyphenated. You know that you are where your ancestors were. And just like with a tree, being connected to those deep roots, being connected to roots that go that deep, well, that makes you stronger. It makes you more solid. It makes you more still, more certain, more secure in who you are. Because you exist in a continuum, a familial continuum. You are in context. This isn't the case for Americans. And I don't care.
This is why individualism is so important to us, right? And we have a hard time accepting that we're not amazing as a people. This mental state, right, of individualism is a false thing. The average man, right, is never going to accomplish shit in life. You think back through history, right? Go back through, the ages. How many people do you remember? How many, great men were there, right? Did big things that their names are worthy of being written down in a book that somebody else should learn about. Like the accountant at your bank. No one's going to ever fucking know him. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That accountant probably got a couple of kids at home. And he's a wife and a mom and dad. And, his kids will have kids and he'll be a grandpa someday. And he'll have an impact on all those people. That's, 5, 6 people that he personally made their lives better. This mentality of thinking that people who hang their hats on their own people's accomplishments is bad, right, is a terrible idea, right? Because the average person, that's just how life works for them. It's always been that way. You ever watch, I was watching Conan the other day, the new one, not the old one with Schwarzenegger. I'll be honest, I kind of like the Jason Momoa one better. In particular, the opening scenes, right? Where it's little Conan out here fucking murking motherfuckers. He comes back and he's bringing heads back to the village. He throws them on the ground and spits the egg out of his mouth, right? Listen, that's a gangster scene. Right? That is an awesome scene. But before that, his dad's looking around the village and he says, when a Sumerian feels cold, it's the cold of a steel blade. When a Sumerian is thirsty, it's a thirst for blood. Right? All the rest of them warriors weren't going to be Conan. His dad wasn't going to be Conan. But ultimately, they were all Sumerians. As long as there was one Conan among them, Sumerians, right? That's what mattered. Because they created Conan. And I realize it's just a movie. But all of us have those men. Right? Or we can go, listen, these are our people. We do it all the time online, where we argue about we in general used to argue about Darwin versus Machiavelli and Aristotle or whatever the case is, right? And Archimedes, right? The Greeks produced so much greatness, between Alexander and Archimedes and Socrates and Plato and Homer and just all the shit, and those stories of Hercules and Odysseus and all this shit, right? Amazing. Leonidas and the 300. They can hang their hat on that forever. Forever. As long as those words are on paper, they can hang their hat on that. And go, look what we did. But why don't you do it anymore? They go, we don't have to. Look at these beaches. Look at this land. We've already shed our blood. Every Italian in the world can go, listen, my people were Caesar and Augustus, right? Octavian and, fucking shit, man. Listen, I'm blanking. Right, we were all these things. We were all these men. Reese, just all these people. And when you look at like France and you go, man, listen, we produced Charlemagne, Napoleon, right? All this food, and all these beautiful things. Cathedral, Notre Dame, right? You can hang their hat on that forever. Germany produced Frederick the Great. It was Wilhelm Kaiser, right? Everybody like had their men. Britain has theirs, somewhat. And ultimately, in the end of the day, you don't remember the average Brit. You don't remember the average German or the average Italian, the average Frenchman. You don't remember the average Russian. Sometimes you do. That Russian who's drinking vodka in the middle of the street in his underwear. It's -2 degrees and he punches a bear. Right? Yeah, all right. Your average citizens is pretty cool. I'll be honest with you. America has that too. All right. Florida men. Right. It's things you hang your hat on as a people because you won't be that. You'll never be that. I mean, Australia produced Steve Irwin and Crocodile Dundee. He didn't really produce much, I'll be honest with you. It's not. Listen, bro, y'all got like 2 guys. I apologize, Some people, for some people, it's the stuff, right? Japan and like the cars and the anime and, like fucking the samurai and the katana and like just all the things that they gave the world. Pearl Harbor, right? China's fireworks and gunpowder and noodles, and I don't really know a lot of the like Confucius. They have a lot of stuff. India is Mahatma Gandhi and street shitters, right? And grass spice, right? Some countries don't have anything, like Afghanistan, right? But these aren't countries, they're tribes. And that's fine. And they have their own little local thing between them. They all have men that they know. Legends among them. This shit, right, as a whole is important. And that's how we hang our hats as a people. That's how the average man hangs his hat. Because the average man will never be, Caesar. Or fucking Frederick the Great or Napoleon. He'll never be Charles Darwin. He'll just be Joe down the street. Coach baseball. It is what it is, and that's okay. And that's the best he can do. And that's great, because he coached baseball. Can't tell you the amount of people who, like, I've known in my lifetime because, like, I played baseball with them. Let's keep going, though.
Okay, if you come from the, one of the Mayflower families, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. You just got there. And you don't have roots there, and you never will. It's a bus terminal. Now, of course, I'm not even talking about the fact that, for example, my family, my ancestors, my great-grandfather and my great-great-grandfather, they came to America, they came to Illinois to be farmers, farming land that did not belong to them, farming land that belonged to the people who had been erased, you know? And of course, I'm not talking about the fact that the African American population cannot generally trace their lineage back to any ancestor who came to America by choice, not by chains. I mean, not only is it a bus terminal, it's a haunted one. That's what America is. And as a so-called nation, they are the homeless of the earth. Some chose to leave their homes, and some were abducted from their homes. But all of them, either way, are not from there. The roots that are there are not yours. And you chop down the trees that those roots actually belong to, that those roots were connected to, you know, the roots of the Native Americans. So it's a country full of phantom trees, short-sighted immigrants, like my ancestors, maybe for good reason at the time. You imposed permanent consequences upon your descendants when you decided to leave your homeland and decided to pretend that you can fabricate roots in someone else's homeland. There's no two ways about it. That's what happened. And then, of course, for Muslims in America, you know, really Muslims in the West generally, but especially for reverts, for converts to Islam, whatever term you want to use, Americans or Westerners who have come to Islam. Well, obviously, you're even more of a misfit in those lands, in America, you know, in that bus terminal. Now, everyone who's in that bus terminal is looking at you differently. If you came to Islam, if you became a Muslim, they look at you differently. You see them differently as well. They deal with you differently and you deal with them differently, you know. You actually deal with them better, but they deal with you worse. So now you
listen, I'm gonna correct the shit, right? You know what I mean? Just because, like, I know, like, anybody who was watching this video probably yelled at their screen when he was like, the people who were eliminated. Listen, 99% of motherfucking the Native Americans who died of disease. They were going to die of disease no matter who the fuck showed up here. Okay, like, it didn't matter whether it was the Muslims, it didn't matter whether it was the Chinese, doesn't matter. Most of them were gonna die. Right, because like they did not have immunity to like the diseases that the animals, right, that all of us, whether you were Asian, whether you were like fucking Middle Eastern, whether you were fucking European, had ended up having to deal with, right? Because like living in close proximity with animals, eventually viruses jump ship between, you know what I mean, like animals and people. And I don't want to fucking hear a goddamn word from anybody about how viruses aren't real, blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up. I don't care. Me nor you are molecular biologists, and we don't need to fucking have that conversation, dog. I'll be real with you. Tired of motherfuckers like saying nonsense. But let me say this, right? This shit that we're talking about right now, right? Let me keep correcting his shit, right? And the black people, right, he's 100% correct with, right? I always said that, like, black people should have their own nation in America so they can leave, right, and then come back if they want to, right, so they can choose to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that should kind of be the thing, right? You know what I mean? It shouldn't be done out of, like, you need to fucking leave. It should be like, listen, you need to go, right, and have your own shit, right? And then, like, if you want to come back, you can, right? But you need to make the choice. Because everybody else was given a choice and you weren't, and we want to give you a choice. Because you can't, there's no replacement for that. There's no amount of money. Right? There's literally like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't go like, yeah, listen, you know what? You never asked to participate in this system. You know what I mean? And I feel like you should give everybody a fucking choice. It should be a voluntary thing. Right? Like, participating in any society that's a colony should be a voluntary thing. That's where, like, this libertarian shit comes from in America, right? You know what I mean? It's because it's why it doesn't exist anywhere the fuck else but here, right? Because, like, everybody who came here, they came here by choice. right? It's all voluntary, right? You're participating in a system. You came here to make money. You came here, they say you came here for opportunity, money. You came here for fucking money. Let's keep it all the way honest. There's no need to lie, right? You came here for money, right? And all the white folks and all the Asians and all the Indians and all like the fucking Jews who came here, they came here to make money. The black people who came here, they came here to make everybody else money. We're being honest. Let's keep going though.
We even fit in less. But of course, when you become a Muslim, at least part of your American problem is solved when you come to Islam. Because now you become a part of the Ummah. You become attached to
Morning, Gil.
that spiritual heritage, to that continuum of belief, that continuum of belief. You're part of the lineage of the Ummah, of all Muslims, in terms of your, what you can say, your more profound cultural heritage and identity. You know, you become attached to the history of Islam, the history of the Muslims. And now you're a part of that history. Like an American non-Muslim has been taken out of the Irish story, the Italian story, the German story, you know, whatever the case may be. And now they're no longer a part of any coherent, continuous story anymore. But an American Muslim does become a part of the Muslim story, the story of Islam. So you have a place in those terms. In that way, you have a place. But you still don't have a land. You know, you're welcome in any Muslim land, yes, but it's not your land. You can fit in, you can belong, you can get along, you can feel familiar, you can recognize your brothers and sisters in Islam in any land, but no land is your land. That remains the same.
This is why you gotta respect the motherfucker, man. This is why you gotta respect him. Because that's some brutal ass honesty right there. Right? Like, he is pro Islam to the death. To the death, son. Right? This motherfucker is hardcore about that fucking life. Even he goes, listen, I don't fucking belong here. These ain't my people. I'm not a native here. I ain't part of this. Not really. That's commendable.
I think we need some kind of a framework for processing this reality. You know, I've lived in or spent time in about 10 different Muslim countries in my life. But I am, and I always will be, a guest in those countries. They'll never be my country. In that regard, I'm still American. I'm still homeless. I don't belong in the countries where my family came from, Ireland and Germany. And as a Muslim, I don't really even belong in the country that I came from, the country that I was born in. You know, I was born in that bus terminal, and I'm not going to be accepted there now. So,
what up, Enclave?
American Muslims do not have a place. They do not have a land, and they never will. We are, you know, Western Muslim converts, reverts. We're like the Bedouin of this ummah, the nomads of Islam. We're just as rootless as any American, but we are rooted in Islam. We have no roots in any land, but we have roots in the deen. And that's our identity. And I think that that's our function. Like, for example, I have no personal stake in the success or the prosperity of any particular Muslim country. You know, if Malaysia does well, if Indonesia does well, or Egypt, or Libya, or wherever, if any particular Muslim country thrives, it does not personally affect me or impact me in any way, because I.
See, listen, he's not like, and this is my thing, man. This is my problem, right? This is what I'm talking about when I say good propaganda, right? This is like the best kind of propaganda, right? Because there's so much truth in this, right? Because ultimately, you know, he's being truly honest about this conversation. Where he's sitting here and he's going, well, you know, I don't have a stake in these fucking countries that I live in because they're not my people. Right? It's not my place. This is my blood. This is my nation. Right? Like, we need some way to process this. We need some way to have these conversations. Right? This is what the rites of passage used to be for. This is what, like, the church rites used to be for. It's what the Masonic rites is for. What all this shit was for. So, like, yo, listen, you could pass the test. Right? You could stand here and become a part of something because you fucking earned it. Say what you want about the citizenship exam. Right? Listen, dead all that noise. Right? What outstanding thing have you done to sacrifice for this place? To make yourself and your family truly tied to this? What thing do the people here do to appreciate that? That's a real ass question. This is the questions that we have to be asking at some point. We have to have these conversations. Because that's just reality. You know what I mean? Let's keep rocking though.
I don't belong to any of those lands. And those lands don't belong to me. But for me, all I have is the general desire to see prosper that in which I have my roots. You understand? My roots are in Islam. My roots are in the global ummah. And that's what I want to see thrive. That's what I want to see prosper. That's what I want to see succeed. You know, I want to see your country do well because I want to see the Muslims generally do well. But when your country does well, you know, I'm just a guest. I'm a witness to your success, and I always will be. Nothing more than that. Even if I contributed to that success. We have a support function, primarily. And yes, that is a subordinate function. You know, that might offend the sort of inherent American arrogance that most of us have, that Western main character syndrome, but it's true. And you have to be honest about that. If
fucking based. Yo, like, based. Like, bro, that is the most base shit right there. The Western main character syndrome, bro. Like, yo, listen. Oh, yo, goddamn. This is why, bro. This is why I listen to this shit, man. Like, I'll be honest with you. Because, like, he spits back shit that, like, I be thinking. Right? And that shit that we talk about. Right? This is like, listen, when other motherfuckers start coming to the same conclusions that y'all do, right? Like, listen, you're right. Okay? That's called, like, motherfucking, it's called evolutionary convergence, right? Right? It's where, like, you know, we all have the same thing. It's where we go, like, hey, listen, you know, these motherfuckers, like, have a main character syndrome, right? Where they think they're, like, the star in, like, a fucking movie, right? You know, that's a conversation that, like, has to be had. Yo, low. I don't know if I mentioned this in my last live stream. I probably did because it pissed me the fuck off. Right? And I'm going to mention it today, right? Because it's pissing me the fuck off. Right? I know I talked about it last night in Discord when we were hanging out. Right? Not last night. Well, I mean, like, define last night. Saturday night, right? When I was working. I was, my dad, I had to take him to, like, go get his pills and shit last week, right? And to go pay the rent, all the stuff we have to do for, like, you know, the regular things, regular, smegular, you know how it works, right? And I go pick up his prescriptions, you know what I mean? I'll take care of all the stuff has to be taken care of for him, you know? And on the way back, he gets mad because he wants to smoke a cigarette and the window didn't work, right? And he can't get out of the car on his own, right? Because I had a child lock and the window lock's on, right? Because, you know, like, his grandkids, my children's ride in the car, his grandchildren. And he gets upset, right? And he goes, you know what? I would never inconvenience myself to make sure that y'all were safe. You all had to learn how to fucking not touch things you weren't supposed to do. Western main character syndrome. Like I'm staring at a picture of like me when I was like 1 year old on my father's back at the moment, right? I have it sitting by my computer to remind me of why I do what I do. It's my dad. But the thing is, right, is that he had a farm. My little brothers was little, not me. I was little, but I was like 9, 10 years old. My little brothers were little. They were like, just being born. And the older one of my two little half brothers, he wandered out the front door. And his mom lost her fucking mind because she didn't notice for like 2 minutes. She goes, what if he would have went in the street and got hit by a car? He could have locked the fucking door. Right? So he couldn't like open the fucking door. Put up a baby gate. Any of the things. They decided that the proper move was to move to the fucking suburbs. Get away from the farm because that was too dangerous for her little boy. Not even realizing that's exactly what they did. Now my father, when I was little, I was playing with like a lamp, right? Table lamp or whatever, right? Taking the bulb in and out, turning it on and off. I was like fucking 2, 3 years old, something like that. And eventually I got, like, listen, I'm a kid, so I got the bright idea that I'm gonna stick my thumb in this fucking light socket, right? Like try to stick all my fingers in there and turn the fucking light on. And my mom runs up, you know what I'm saying? She's like, what are you doing? Why are you letting him do that? And my dad goes, no, he has to learn. Buzz. Yo, listen, I get it. I do. I understand. Right? Made me hard. Learning those lessons repeatedly. You'll figure it out. You'll fuck up. Go try. You know what I mean? Fucking it up is how you learn. But that's that main character syndrome. It wasn't about the fact that I had to learn, I was going to survive. It wasn't what it was. Because I could have died multiple times. Many a times they're like, like I'm riding this fucking riding mower, those old like zero turn John Deere's, right? Like this, just a steering column in the front, no tractor front, right? And motherfucking going uphill with both the bags full in the back, and that motherfucker starts tilting backwards. My reflexes being, like being a 10-year-old, like jumping the fuck off that motherfucker before it fucking flipped over and rolled down the goddamn hill backwards. He was mad. Real upset about that. But I didn't die. Could have. That's how you learn, by fucking up, right? Main character syndrome. Rather than being out there and going, hey, listen, no, don't go up that hill. You have to go down to the side, right? That way, like, you don't roll the bitch over. Yeah, look, feel that? Yeah. See, that's what happens. Go down to the end. You'll be all right. This is the thing. It was never about teaching. Right? It was about fucking letting you learn so they can go do what they had to do. Main character syndrome. They're the important person. They couldn't be in a subordinate role to even their children.
American Muslim or Western Muslim or whatever. Malaysians have more at stake in the success of Malaysia than you do. Jordanians have more of a stake in the success of Jordan than you do. Saudis have more at stake in
Ryoko, what up, man? Nice to see you, my brother.
Saudi Arabia than you do, and so on. We have no landed roots. We have no landed stake anywhere. And that fact should make us understand our role. It's not a commanding role. It's not a supervisory role. It's a support role. How are you going to be homeless but not humble? You have to be humble. We are here to support our brothers and sisters. That's it. Not to give orders. We're backup. But But understand, I'm not belittling or diminishing the importance of the role that we can play. We are perpetual outsiders. Okay, that's not to say strangers, but outsiders. Like I said, because we don't come from any of what you can call the legacy Muslim lands. We're welcome, we're guests, we're respected, but we are outsiders. That's a fact. Now, the most valuable thing about an outsider, the most valuable thing that an outsider can bring to a situation is objectivity. It's a detached, non subjective, non personal, motive driven perspective. Someone who is sincerely only interested in the general upliftment of Muslims overall, Muslims everywhere, of the Ummah. So you can look at things from that perspective. You can advise from that perspective. You can work from that perspective. You can support from that perspective, aligned to the general interests of the Ummah. The helicopter view, you can call it. Seeing the forest, not just the trees. That's potentially a very useful vantage point. It's potentially a very useful role, a useful function.
I always say, bro, listen, you gotta look at things from a God's eye view, right? You gotta look at things from like above. You gotta step outside of like the norm of being right in the fucking mix. Can't see the battle when you're down there swinging an axe in the trenches. You have to be up on top of the hill to see the battle. If you really want to see everything, you gotta get up inside of like a fucking plane. Up on the top of a fucking treetop. Up on a mountain. You can see the entire lay of the land. See more, right, than everybody else. It's an important thing to get to, man. It's an important place to get to mentally. As a man. You go like, yeah, listen. I want to be able to see 4 or 5 steps ahead of things before they happen. So that I'm not blindsided when bad shit goes down. Important shit, bro. Important shit.
Function that you can have. But we do have to recognize and we do have to respect the fact that like Bedouins, like nomads, no matter how things do go in a country, we can and most likely.
Yo, this here is Shahid Bosun, right? Right? He is an Irish German Muslim living in Malaysia. He's from Illinois. He talks like Malcolm X. But the words and the things that he says are so fucking wise, right? His propaganda is so proper that I have a hard time disagreeing with a lot of what he says. Right? I correct him every once in a while on my shit, right? But I ultimately use his shit as like a jumping off point for all of us to be able to learn like wisdom and steps, right? And understandings that are like better for everybody. Right? This guy's on a channel called Middle Nation. And he sounds like Malcolm X, which I love, right? Listen, an Irish German, right, living in like Malaysia as a Muslim, right, sounds like Malcolm X, bro. Listen, only on the internet, bro. Only on the internet.
We will keep moving. The people of that land, they're the ones who are going to have to live with the consequences. We're going to have to live in the conditions that result from their decisions. We'll pack up our tents and move on down the line. That's a fact. That's the nature of it. And the only way for us to interact with our people in the Muslim world, the only way for us to behave.
Yo, listen, listen, Discord threatened to call the FBI on me. So like, I've been kind of laying low on Discord a little bit. I'm still on there. You know what I mean? Like, we have a new server and shit. Our server got nuked 7 times. Right? You know what I mean? In a fucking row. Right? They were trying to stomp us the fuck out. I don't even use my name anymore on Discord. I can't. Right? Because, like, these motherfuckers is hunting me. For, like, 6 months, I had to use a fucking a VPN. Right? Every time I hopped on Discord. So, like, listen, I know Speaker Square. I know every place on fucking Discord. I just don't go there no more. You know what I mean? I just don't. Any place I got to be verified, I can't get into.
In the Muslim world and not be acting like colonizers is to respect and to acknowledge the reality that we do not have a stake in it the way that they do. And that we're there to support. That we're there to advise, not to dictate. and certainly not to disrupt. Our role must be an exclusively positive role. And I mean perpetually positive, always positive. Like if you're a guest at someone's house, you're a guest at someone's home, and a family squabble breaks out, what do? You don't take sides. You're a guest. Your role is to try to mend things, to try to be positive, try to reconcile, try to calm everyone down, speak good. You don't involve yourself in the family dispute of your host. You compliment the hummus. That's what you do. And if you're asked, then you will try to see all sides. You'll try to bring some objectivity. You see what I mean? That's our role. I don't see that we can really.
I was dating this chick one time. I'd recently been divorced. And you know me, like I make money, right? At that time, like, I always had things. I mean, I always like have shit that like will make others feel away. And I'll be honest with you. I love poor people because they'll give you the shirt off their back. I went to stay with a buddy of mine. He was in like his 50s at this point. I was about 31 years old. And so this was 11, 12 years ago, something like that. I went and stayed at his house. He had his oldest daughter was like 23. Me and her ended up hooking up. And he started feeling away. Cause like ultimately, I made more money than him, stronger than him, younger than him. You know what I'm saying? He felt away. At this point, I had I bounced, and I was still coming back to see the dog, right? Stay the night every once in a while, whatever. You know what I mean? Help motherfuckers out. And there was one night where everything just broke out. You know what I mean? I don't know what the fuck was going on. I hear everybody yelling downstairs and shit. I go down, see what's going on. Right. And fucking him and his wife's getting into it. They're mixing it up. Now, I'd never seen this before between these two. Right. Always good people. Not like the best of people, but good people. In their hearts. Not always in their actions. He was a drinker. She was, I don't know, to be honest with you. She's just a cool type of old school drinking type of chick. Loyal bitch from the South, from Alabama. One of them type people. And everything's breaking out. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I come downstairs and I'm like, yo, whoa. What's going on here, man? Listen, calm down, dog. Calm down. The fucking hugging, I go to the side. It's fucking calm down, my brother. What you over here mixing it up with your female for? I saw him he put hands on the bro, he fucking, not punch it, push her head or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And fucking, he's oh, whatever, right? He's standing here talking about some nonsense. And I was like, dude, man, listen, what are you doing? You're better than this. And he's all drunk and fucked up. And I look at Shorty, I fucking nod my head towards the upstairs, whatever. And I tell her to take her mom upstairs. You know what I mean? I sit and I talk to him, right? That's your goal, right? It's not to rule over nothing. The goal is to make peace. The goal is to chill because you're a guest, right? That's the mentality. I learned that lesson when I was young. I was probably 17, 18 years old. I was at my homie's house. And his stepdad was a minor league baseball player who was a former Navy SEAL. And his kid came down one day, and he was 12, 13, some shit like that. He come down, maybe 11. He might have been 11, a little fat fuck. He looked like Tony Soprano's kid when he was young. Right, and he goes, fuck you, I fucking hate all of you, right? And I was like, yo, my kid talked to me that way, bro, I'll bust his fucking head. Yo, and his motherfucker went upstairs, started busting this motherfucker's head, bro. Mom went upstairs, got mixed up in it. Ricky, my homie, got mixed up in it. You know what I mean? Came downstairs, and I mean, me and Ricky beat shit out this dude. Like, yo, listen, whoop this motherfucker's ass. Right? Bounced. It's a lesson you gotta learn. You know what I'm saying? Ain't your fucking business. Be telling motherfuckers how to raise nothing. Say shit about that. You know what I mean? Ain't your fucking business. You're a guest. You ain't there to fucking dictate nothing. You ain't there to give your fucking opinion. You a guest. Yeah, like, yeah, you know. Everything all right? Good. Nothing more.
Really have any other role besides that. I mean, it's the role of every Muslim to be an impartial witness, yes. But homeless Western Muslims, which is what we are, American converts and so on, I think that we are very specifically well suited for this function. So in my opinion, you should try to be that. You should try to hone that ability, hone those skills, so that you can fulfill that role properly, rather than, for example, trying to assume any kind of other role that you really don't have a right to assume. Because the reality is we are distinct. We are a distinct group within the ummah. Now understand, I said distinct. I didn't say better. I didn't say superior. I didn't say more special or anything like that. No, but we are distinct. That's a fact. We have a distinct situation. We have a distinct history and experience. And I think that we have to know what that status means for us and our place in the ummah and our role in the ummah. And I think that we need to try to understand ourselves like a tribe. Like I said, a Bedouin nomadic tribe, but a tribe in every meaningful way. That's what we are. American Muslims, reverts, and so on. That doesn't separate us from the rest of the ummah, no, unless you don't understand properly where and how you fit in. But if you understand yourself as being a tribe, then in my opinion, you can have a better chance at cohesion and at solidifying your identity. And I'll say something else specifically here about.
That's not bad if you're going to have rules. Put it like this, right? So, like, if you're going to have rules about, you know, you're going to have like a distinct group, like Mexicans in America, right? For instance, good, like, put it that way, right? You're going to have rules for how you act and your place in that society. That's not a terrible thing, right? But, there's a big ass but. But if you're going to act that way and then try to, like, you know, you're going to become like a group that has like influence, there's a lot of motherfuckers who are going to try and turn, you know what I mean, like wherever you are into wherever it is that you came from. And that's not positive. Right? That's not positive at all. That happens to like us all the time here, right? Where, like, you know, you have all these like college fucks who moved in from like across the country to participate in like the economics here, and the places that used to be like full of all shit are now full of theirs. They brought their shit with them, and they're trying to turn our place with all like restaurants and all like local shops and all like local stuff into theirs. Because like, and it ruins this place. Because like basically what you're doing is you left a place that didn't have any culture, it had nothing. It had like, they didn't have like their rules and their dictates. They didn't have like the shit that made them the people that like we are. You know what I'm saying? Made them people like the garbage that they is that you left, and you're turning this place into that, and that's not good, right? Like, you're fucking shit up. And it's important that you don't become these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? That you don't go, hey, listen, you know, like, yo, we need to demand to have like a McDonald's put in, right? Like, nah, homie. You know what I mean? You need to eat the halal butcher like everybody the fuck else. Let's keep it a bean.
Us, as a specific particular segment of the ummah, us Western converts, Western reverts. Like I said, I think that we're a nomadic tribe within the ummah. You know, we have things in common. just like a tribe does, that we don't have in common with Muslims in the Muslim world, that's unique to us. We have things in common both as
Yo, fuck the book,
diaspora
man.
Muslims and as converts, as reverts. So we're like a tribe, and you should think of yourself that way. And every tribe has a mukhtar. They have a chief. And unquestionably, the chief of our tribe, the mukhtar of the American Western reverts, without a doubt, is Malcolm X. And I don't say this casually. I really want you to understand what I mean by this, because you do have to understand what a mukhtar is to his tribe. You know, in traditional societies, tribal societies, the mukhtar is not just an administrator of the tribe. He's the living embodiment of the tribe's identity, their values, their collective spirit. He's the moral compass. He's the cultural standard bearer, the architect.
There goes my Twitter, man. Fucking, you know, my X joint. You know what I mean? Oh, by the way, listen, yo, check out my fucking Substack, dog. Like, real shit. Yo, my Substack has been hot. It's a whole different thing, man. Like, your real shit, actual, real, free speech. Hang on a minute. I'll grab you my joint. Shit. View profile. Man, listen. I'm trying to figure this out. Hold on. Not it. Boom. Your publication. Copy link. Got to go in and out, buddy. In and out. Here. Listen, there you go. Check us out. There's my Substack. Yo, hop on the Substack. You listen. Substack's hot fire. Real shit. Like, yo, I'm taking all the shit I learned on Discord and all the stuff that, like, you know, we were arguing about back in the day, and, like, it's free speech, so you can say whatever the fuck you want over there. It's great. Right? And I get paid for it. So that's the best part. Real shit. Like, yo, check that shit out. Keep rocking though.
Type that all his people, all his tribe will emulate. The Mukhtar doesn't just rule his people. He shapes the soul of his tribe. Do you understand? He's the cultural architect of his people. And for us, that's Malcolm. Every tribe has their ethos. They have an unwritten code that sort of defines their honor, their dignity, their way of life, and so forth. The Mukhtar sets this code through his own conduct, through his decisions, through his speech, even through his demeanor. That becomes the reference point for the tribe for what's respected or what's condemned. You understand? You follow what I'm saying? You know, this is for all those people who, in my comment section, make references to Malcolm X when they see my videos. Well, that's my chief. That's my Mukhtar. And if you're an American or a Western revert, he's your Mukhtar as well. But you have to understand what your tribe is. You know, if the Mukhtar values courage, then the tribe will glorify warriors. If he prioritizes wisdom, then elders and scholars will have prestige. If he's generous, then hospitality becomes sacred to the tribe. This is how the characteristics of a tribe are determined.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. Listen, I didn't watch like this whole video. I only watched like the first, like, I don't know, probably like 2/3 of it, some shit like that. Maybe actually a little less, probably like about half. I've never heard him mention Malcolm X before this. Listen, I figured that's like, yo, he studied Malcolm hard because like he literally has the mannerisms, the way of speech, right? Everything about Malcolm X, this dude does, right? You know, like everything about Malcolm X, this guy does, right? So like, yeah, listen, that's kind of fucking crazy. The first time I've ever heard him mention Malcolm's name. That's cool. That's fucking cool because I do dig Malcolm. I'm gonna be honest with you. I do dig Malcolm. I really liked him much better than fucking Martin Luther King. You know what I mean? I hope he does a video at some point, Malcolm versus like Martin Luther King. You know what I mean? To understand the differences, right? To like understand like what it is, because like this dude, I'd love to hear his fucking opinion on it.
By their Mukhtar. So understand that the Mukhtar's personal behavior directly molds the tribe's cultural DNA. You know, if the Mukhtar is someone who speaks with dignity and with courage, then his people will adopt a refined language and fearless language because they want to live up to their chief. They want to do justice to the reputation of the...
All right, so like, listen, okay. I am all things, right? I motherfucking make animations. I fucking do YouTube. I squabble on Discord, but I'm also a writer, right? And Substack's about writing. I write articles. I'm writing a book over there too, a book called 2035. It's turning out to be very, very prescient. Like a very, very prescient, right? Real shit. Like, yo, go check it out. You'll enjoy it. It's a communitarian. Fucking my Substack's communitarian. It's arguing from the aspect of like needing culture and like heritage and people and like proper fucking ties. From a community standpoint, and arguing for like community, like shit, man, listen, my brain, arguing for like community autonomy and local food production, things of this nature. But like taking that lens and applying it to like all subjects, national and local, it's pretty cool. Y'all, you know what I mean? Y'all should check it out. You know what I mean? Yo, check it out. You'll enjoy it. I promise. You'll like it. And if you download the app for your phone, all my articles, you can just hit play and you can listen to like the robot read them, right? And the robot voice isn't bad. You know what I mean? I'll be honest with you. It's not terrible. It fucks up a little bit, but it's not terrible. Let's keep going now.
Their tribe that he established. If the Mukhtar is disciplined, then laziness becomes shameful to his tribe. His qualities become the qualities that the whole tribe respects, that they adhere to, and that they aspire to and emulate. The Mukhtar is the tribe's soul personified. His virtues become their virtues. His flaws become their flaws. That you have to be careful. The Mukhtar's influence is immediate, visceral, and transformative. That's why in tribal cultures they have a saying that goes, and it holds true, the Mukhtar, as the Mukhtar is, so will the people be. So, you know, with all due respect to the da'is and the khatibs and so forth that you have over there in the West, including the ones who are converts, our chief, our Mukhtar, is Al-Hajj Malik Al-Shabazz, is Malcolm X. That's who our chief is. I don't know if I even know any reverts who were not either directly or indirectly inspired to come to Islam because of Malcolm X. Wallahi, there is no single individual in the West through whom more people came to Islam than Malik Al-Shabazz. And he set the tone. He modeled the culture. He modeled the approach. And he created the ethos of exactly how Western and specifically American converts should be in America, in the West. You know, he was fearless in his convictions. He was uncompromising in his indictment of the Western power structure. But he was also pragmatic in his approach. You know, he worked to build bridges with the Muslim world and with Africa. And he went there seeking help in the Muslim world and in Africa for the conditions of so-called black people in America. He didn't go there trying to tell them how to run their affairs. No, he understood that both African Americans and Muslims in America, in the West, need to connect themselves with the global majority. He never sought acceptance from the power structure, Western power structure. He never believed a word that came out their mouths. And he was teaching you and I, teaching our tribe, how we are supposed to engage or how we're not supposed to engage with these people.
Yeah, listen. I'm just kind of like sitting here, you know what I mean? Like if I was on like if he was in front of me talking, I'd just be Indian style on the floor right now just listening. Right? Cuz like I'm a fan of Malcolm X, right? You know what I mean? Not even I'm going to say I'm a fan of Malcolm X. I really like the way he did business. You know what I mean? I like the way he handled shit. You know, just me personally, because I take a lot of influence myself, right, from his way of dealing with shit. You know, my introduction to politics was from a Nation of Islam guy who got his shit from Malcolm X. Right? So like, yeah, listen. Got you, dog. Got you. Let's keep rocking.
You know, I gave a talk one time about being raised in Pharaoh's palace, meaning being raised in the United States of America, and therefore understanding that country because of being raised there, being born and raised there, understanding that culture and that pharaonic power structure. Well, Malcolm X showed us exactly how to behave and how to engage and how to confront that power structure because he was raised there too. Our whole tribe was raised there. This is a distinction we have, just like Nabi Musa alayhi salam. And there are two things, by the way, that you will not find our Mukhtar ever having done in his life. One is participating in a protest, and the other is criticizing the leaders of the Muslims. These are two things he never did. His da'wah was prosecution of American hypocrisy, prosecution of American double talk, prosecution of American brutality, and obviously prosecution of American racism. That was his da'wah.
Fucking based, dude, legit. Yo, he literally, like, because he had a video where he talked about protest, right? And he sat in, he spoke about protesting, and he said protesting is like for just, you know what I mean? Like, it's literally just, you know what I mean, weak, because it never changes anything. It doesn't fix shit, right? Protesting makes no goddamn never mind about anything, right? It doesn't, like, actually, like, adjust, like, the thoughts of anybody. It just creates, you know what I mean, puts a fucking target on your fucking head, the target on your back. Right? You're not making any fucking, like, real progress by fucking protesting. Bro, listen, this dude is beast mode, bro. Real shit.
And that's our Mukhtar. That's our chief. That's our model. Yes, epistemological sovereignty. You have to understand yourselves as American Muslims, as Western Muslims, as reverts, as converts, whatever.
Yeah, I think what he said was, if you want to make a change, right, in the community, you need to go get involved, right? Like, and it's like, yo, if you have nothing to offer, then you shouldn't get involved. And if it doesn't affect you, you shouldn't be involved, right? Like, it's super brilliant. I broke down this video before. I might have to pull it up after this, being real. Like, just keeping it 100 with you.
Whatever word you want to use, according to our definitions and our understanding. And if you do that, well, then I think that you'll see that you are a tribe within the Ummah, and that you do have a Mukhtar who embodied the ethics and the standards of your tribe, or that your tribe should emulate. And those ethics did not include, for example, compromising on al-wala wal-bara, but strictly upholding it. It means understanding that our role in the West is prosecution, and our role with the Muslim world is connection. It's learning, it's support, it's bridge building. And then within the West, our role with each other in the West is upliftment, it's discipline, it's advocacy, it's defense, and it's economic empowerment. And you never utter a word in public that you know will give comfort or give satisfaction to your enemies. I mean, let me say something about that too, because there are some people who think that being impartial, being objective, is supposed to mean leveling equal criticism across the board. That's a Western trick, you know. They say you criticize the West, but if you're fair, then you'll criticize the Muslims too. You know, criticize the Arabs and what have you. No. What you think, if I call falsehood falsehood, then I should also call truth falsehood too, just to be fair? No, there's no equivalence. It isn't bias to put the blame where it belongs. You're attacking my people, you're attacking my ummah, morning, noon, and night. You think I'm supposed to join you in that? Just so that the people who are attacking my ummah, morning, noon, and night, unfairly, just so that those people will think I'm fair? I haven't made a single unfair criticism of the West.
Yo, listen. So, like, here's the thing, right? And this is kind of important to understand. The mentality is, and this is what he's saying, right, as a whole, right? What he's talking about is he's standing here going like, yo, look, when we go, yo, listen, women do this and this and this. They go, but men do. Like, yeah, but we're not addressing men right now. Right? We're addressing women. But men, no. Right? Too many motherfuckers stand here and they go, oh, well, you know, women today, they, you know, fucking have these unreal expectations of things. And, you know, men do too, but like fucking, you know, like, you know, women and men, you know, right? Like, and they go, oh, but also the men, right? You know, oh, well, men beat women, right? They just fucking throw this nonsense out, right? Because they want to be impartial. But the reality is that, like, yo, you have to be able to go, yeah, listen, here's where you're fucking up. And you can't, you know what I mean, just like go, you're fucking up. Oh, but so am I. So it's okay. You can feel all right about fucking up. Right? That's what the fuck he's saying. Right? And that's fucking brilliant. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, because like you have to be able to have those conversations on a real ass level. Yo, listen, bruh. like this dude more every time I listen to him. I'm telling you.
Not one. And just because there's no equivalent criticism against the Muslims that can be justified, that doesn't mean I'm biased. You know, if Jeffrey Dahmer was my neighbor, okay, and I complained about him murdering and eating people, you'd say that I was biased for not also complaining about my other neighbor who plays his music too loud. Why you got to pick on Jeffrey Dahmer? This is a Western trick. Listen, the beginning of clarity is first understanding which team you're on. You know, understanding that there are teams, whether you like it or not, there are teams, and you can't be on all of them. So you have to know what team you're on, what side you're on, and what your function is on that team, and do your job. You have to understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has organized the affairs of this world. And then you have to try to recognize and identify where you fit in that organization. And if you're having some kind of an identity crisis as a revert, as an American Muslim, as a Muslim in the West, then I think this is because you have lost your sense of what you can call tribal cohesion. And I think that you've neglected the memory of your Mukhtar. And wallahi, you need to reconnect with that. If you reconnect with that, then you will better understand your role. You will better understand your identity. And then you'll start to have some clarity.
Fucking brilliant. Fucking brilliant. All right, so I got some other stuff I wanted to show y'all. Right. Listen, let me look and make sure like you can see what the fuck's going on. Like, so, all right, yo, I'm here to bring y'all, you know what I mean, like all the goings-ons, right, you know what I mean, for the day, right? So Elmo from Sesame Street, his Twitter got hacked, right? Elmo says all Jews should die. Fuck Jews, because Donald Trump is Netanyahu's puppet because he's in the Epstein files. Jews control the world and need to be exterminated. Release the files at real Donald Trump, child fucker. Elmo, kill all the Jews. Like, listen, yo, hold up, bro. Listen, we're gonna look. If I find whoever hacked Elmo, I swear to God, Elmo replied, kill all the Jews. Or, no, the Jews responded to kill all the Jews. He said, yo, fuck are you gonna do, nigga? Like, him muting at Elmo because this is hacked. Fuck you and your tranny daughter, nigga. Like, yo, listen. I don't know who did this, but, like, I'm proud of you, right? I'm fucking proud of you. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, I also wanted to fucking show y'all, listen, this is the, whatchamacallit. This is my, fucking thing, right? Okay, so, all right, this is from a local community where I'm from, right? Dauphin County Town considers criminalizing fun, banning games on public streets and sidewalks. High Sparrow's Borough Council this week announced an ordinance that would prohibit all people, including children, from playing any kind of games on public streets, alleys, or sidewalks. Ordinance 660 of 2025, which will be voted on by the borough's council during its August meeting, cites a serious safety problem within High Sparrow due to groups ball playing, snowballing, or playing games on the streets and sidewalks. The ordinance said the following: ball playing, including throwing, kicking, or knocking of any ball, throwing snowballs, throwing of any stone or any missile of any kind upon the public streets, alleys, sidewalks in the borough of High Spire is hereby prohibited, as the playing of any game of any kind of any such public streets, alleys, or sidewalks. If passed, anyone in violation of the ordinance could face a fine between $25 and $300 and or up to 90 days imprisonment. High Spire manager Mark Stonebecker told the ordinance was introduced after community members complained about the children playing basketball in the streets. The borough sent a letter to the family of the juveniles informing them that basketball hoop needed to be removed out of the borough right of way, which in which they complied. However, the kids continued to play ball in the street, and the matter was further investigated by High Spire Police Department. They reviewed the information, contacted Dauphin County District Attorney's Office for guidance. The DA's office did not feel the issue was a criminal matter, more of a neighborhood issue, Stonebacker told CBS 21. At the 7 p.m. August 19th meeting, where High Spire's council will vote and the ordinance is open to the public. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so, listen here. These boomers are getting the fuck out of control. All right? These boomers are getting way the fuck out of goddamn pocket. All right? Legitimately, like, yo, listen, okay? The world is not about you. Okay? The world is not about you. I'm fucking, I've had it up to my ears with fucking boomers and Karens. right? Legitimately, you're going to punish children for playing in the fucking street. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Like, you selfish main character motherfuckers. This is shit we were just talking about. This main character fucking behavior, right? Where it's like, only I matter. I'm the only person who matters. I'm the only person who exists. Nobody else has ever existed except me. Right? This shit is fucking wild, y'all. Fucking wild. Ridiculous. Fucking insane nonsense. This shit is absolutely fucking crazy. What the fuck is going on with this goddamn country? Motherfuckers want to ban people from playing ball in the streets. Are y'all fucking ridiculous? Like, are y'all out of your fucking trees? You must have fell down and bumped your goddamn head somewhere. What the fuck is this? What type of retarded boomer nonsense? You people, like real shit, are the fucking problem with this goddamn country. It is not the children playing ball in the streets, right? It is not anybody the fuck else. It's literally you weak, garbage old people who fucking need to fucking be punched in the fucking dick repeatedly. I don't have any kids. Why should I have to tolerate kids? You know what? Go fucking move to goddamn Montana. Go move to fucking Florida and get it the fuck over with. We are all fucking tired of you. Everybody in the fucking world is tired of you. Real shit. This is fucking ridiculous. Real talk. Jesus fucking Christ. What type of bananas nonsense? Banning of any game on the street? What? Children are not allowed to play? Fuck you. Fuck you right in your fucking puckered asshole. You garbage fucks. Like, real shit. I hope you all die of fucking cancer. I cannot wait for the day of the pillow. Right? Real shit. By the way, listen. Go buy you guys some goddamn merch, bro. We literally have... There it is. The day of the pillow, bro. We have a pillow we're selling on my motherfucking joint. Link in the description on the TeePublic. Bro, listen. You can buy a day of the pillow fucking pillow. Real shit. You know what I mean? Because we're all waiting, dog. We're all waiting. Buy the GDP number go up meme shirt. Buy this, face the wall 4 rides, right? From motherfucking Pol Pot, right? Like, listen, you can fucking stand here and buy any shirt you want, right? More Pol Pot merch, right? Fuck it, is that a liberal arts degree? That is brilliant, right? Listen, you can buy the meme. All these memes is memes either me or Breaker fucking created, right? You know what I mean? Listen, let me fucking know, dog. You know what I mean? Listen, you can go and buy the merch and have a fucking blast. You know what I mean? Show your support in public for, like, you know what I mean? Like, this fuck. Show your support in public. That, like, yo, this shit needs to stop. Listen, I'm Tom Pease of Pnoid News. Y'all know the deal. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here and, like, go and try to calm the fuck down now that I'm wilding